Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Becoming Rich podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Monica. This is a podcast where we are reclaiming your power, choosing yourself, and creating a life rich in love, self-worth, money, and soul purpose. Okay, so this episode, I'm going to be sharing something that has been a huge part of my journey, and just honestly the biggest part of becoming who I am has been through celibacy. Now, this episode is not about judgment, telling anyone what they should be doing, especially with their bodies. This is me just reflecting on how transformative this journey has been for my mind, body, and spirit. So whether you're considering celibacy, curious about the benefits, or just going along your healing journey, I hope this gives you a deeper perspective on reclaiming your power. Let's start with who I was before celibacy. So I have talked about it before, but before celibacy, I didn't realize how much my energy was being leaked all over the place. I was very disconnected from myself. I mean, I didn't know who really I was. I was who everyone else told me I was. I was the unhealed version of me. I didn't realize just how much my energy was being leaked through relationships, situationships, friendships, family, but especially through sex. I was always in something. Like, I was always dating someone, seeing someone, hooking up with someone. There was not really like any time in between, it felt like. I was always seeking some kind of validation, attention. Like, it honestly is so obvious. It's so obvious looking back at it. At the time, I didn't know. It was just who I was, I guess, that's who I thought I was. I thought I'm someone that loves myself. I'm someone that loves fashion, and I'm confident in myself. So why not show myself out online and just be me? Like, why do I have to care about what other people are going to think? Like, that's just like my perspective of it was like putting myself online in like very provocative outfits and all that, whatever. I think a lot of us go along this journey, and listen, I still like to be sexy. I still like to show my figure. I like to wear mini dresses and mini skirts. It's my favorite thing in the world. I love clothes. I love outfits, and I love posting online. I love it. But it was just in the way that I was doing it. And because of the intention behind it, I was so desperate for the validation of other men because I wanted that proof that I was being chosen, that people wanted me. And I was looking at my value in that kind of way because I obviously wasn't seeing my value myself. So I needed other people to tell me. It's like I was just in this survival mode, constantly performing, constantly pleasing, just trying so badly. At the end of the day, all I wanted was love. That's it. I just wanted love. And I just didn't know in what way to get it. And I just thought that the only way to get it was to, you know what I mean? Do things that, would please someone. And that's just like not what my soul wanted ever. And I have learned throughout the years, I've learned through celibacy, how much partaking in hookup culture was never, ever what I wanted to do. I thought it was. And at the end of the day, I don't regret it because I am who I am because of it. I don't regret going through all of that, but I wish I would have realized maybe sooner. It was just so obvious. Like, when I look back now, it was so obvious that I never enjoyed what I was doing. It was something that I felt like I had to do. I thought there was something that we do as women, and it was like that was our liberation, was being sexually free. And there are parts of it, but when you're giving yourself away to men that don't respect you and don't value you, that's where you're losing yourself. There's a difference between choosing someone and allowing yourself to dive into those sexual desires that you have, because those are completely natural. But when you're in a safe space compared to someone that doesn't care if you're living or dead, that's the difference. And that's what literally is just hurting your soul, and you're not benefiting from it. And also when you're choosing men that are have other things going on, you're taking that on. So why I chose celibacy is because when I had my spiritual awakening and I started learning about energy in general, I then started learning about sexual energy. Now, if I'm healing myself and I'm putting in all this work for all my energy centers to clear them up, meaning I'm going back, I'm looking at my traumas, figuring out what is going on and processing it properly, and then trying to become this new version of me, letting go, clearing my nervous system. Why would I then start hooking up with someone who has never self-reflected a day in their life? Someone that obviously has a lot of trauma, which is exactly why I attracted them, because we were both in the same playing field. I'm not sitting here and saying, oh, I was better than them. I did for the longest time. I would say they're literally bums. And they did this, they did that, blah, 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 blah. But they were giving me exactly what I needed. They were reflecting back to me exactly how I felt about myself. That's it. They did exactly what they needed to do. Before I chose celibacy, because I was so disconnected from myself, I didn't know the difference between my own energy and hooking up with someone. Like, I didn't know or feel the difference because I wasn't connected with that source. And it wasn't until I started healing that I started to notice, oh, damn, when I hook up with this certain individual, I'm not well for like 2-3 days afterwards. And it started to become a pattern. I would hook up with them. The next day I would feel okay. But then, like, the next day, I would feel tired, groggy, sad, lonely. And the biggest thing that I noticed, I was always singing in my shower. Like, I always would crank my music and I'd be singing and dancing, which I do all the time. And I would notice whenever I would hook up with this individual, I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, damn, I have not played my music really loud and sung and danced for a week or two. And I'm like, okay, what's the common denominator? Oh, every time I don't do that, I'm hooking up with this person. Okay, so what's going on? I'm taking on this person's traumas, their energy, their chaos, their intentions, their frequency, their desires. You take the good and the bad. So it's not to say that, oh, if you hook up with someone, you're just going to become this, you're going to take all their, like, the negative things. If they're a really great person, you're also taking those good things. It's kind of fun. That's why choosing the partner that you are sharing that moment with is important. So now understanding that, and then thinking back to everyone that I had been with, and knowing that a man's energy in your body stays for 1 full year. Okay. And I'm like, oh, so because I've never healed and known how to clear my own energy, all of them, acting like I've had like a million kills, but regardless, doesn't matter actually, regardless. So scratch, I even said that. Any man that I've ever been with, his energy, his traumas, all his garbage is lingering in my body and in my womb. So no wonder I feel scattered. No wonder I was there was nothing in my brain that was going on about myself. Nothing was ever about me. I was completely consumed on everyone else and finding these external things to bring me my happiness. That's what I needed. That's what I thought I needed. Going along this journey started to become really, really difficult to continue to see certain people. I tried, I really tried for a little bit. I wanted to continue, being in my bad habits because it was something that I was used to. It was normal to me, and it was abnormal to me to not see anyone, right? Like I was someone that was just so sad being alone and just not well being alone. Celibacy for me was never just about sex. It was so much deeper, and I started to want to heal my womb because not only is that area being affected by the men that I sleep with, but any kind of trauma or things that have gone on in that area, I started to feel bad, and I started to okay, so basically how it happened was I cut that guy off, and then I moved to Burlington. And once I moved here, because I was completely like physically disconnected from that whole city, like being in Toronto, like that's where everything went down. I was able to really, that's why environment is so important, because I could really disconnect from who I used to be, and I was ready to get into this new version of me. And when I was here, I guess unintentionally, I knew that I didn't want to hook up with anyone anymore, but I wasn't like fully closed off. It just naturally happened because of the area that I was in. And once I stopped talking to people, I was able to finally start going within and focusing on me and only me. I had never done that in my life. I had never given myself that time and nurturance to think about what it is that I want in my life, me, separate from all these exterior things, separate of wanting to be with a man, separate of wanting to get married, separate of having kids. Just Rachel. Who is Rachel? What does she want in her life? And I started doing a lot of my internal healing work. So a lot of womb work, when I started realizing just how sacred this area is and how sacred sex is, how special it is. I neglected myself for so long. And the thing is I always felt used. I did. And I think that a lot of us have a lot of sexual trauma that we don't realize or we know. Just feeling like it's an obligation, feeling like we have to, because I don't know, a man takes us out, a man isn't kind to us. Like it feels like that's some kind of exchange that you need to do. And even if it's going against how you feel and what you want. And you know how many times I have been in situations where I've been coerced. And you know what coercion is? Coercion is also the R word. Okay? So if you're a man and you have coerced, then you have R-worded people. Okay? I don't care. Like, call it what it is. If someone says no the first time, then it's a no. Respect the other person and what they want. Thank you very much. Not, oh, I'm just going to keep asking until they say yes. You're disgusting. Moving on. Anyways. So during this time, I started to do a lot of journaling and a lot of speaking to myself, which I still do now. Whenever I go into my yoga class, I put my hand on my womb and I speak to her. And I show her love and appreciation and gratitude. And I speak to her as if she is its own separate spirit. Because that area, when you start learning about your womb, you start learning that that this is a portal to the other side. We are the closest thing to, okay, hold on. Every single person is God. We are all God. But women having this portal in between our legs, we are the closest thing to the other side. We have the closest connection. That's why women's intuition is so strong. And we are the creators of human beings. So that's a whole other episode, unraveling religion. And you'll never catch me praising a man. Not to be disrespectful at all. I think there's a lot of truth in every single religion because I think that it's based in truth. I just think man has contorted it and used it to control. And I know that a lot of people can find a lot of beautiful, good things out of it. So I'm not tearing anyone down. But couldn't be me praising a man when a white man for that, even though, well, I'm talking about Jesus now, but even though he's a Palestinian man. Our wombs create life, and wouldn't God create life? Oh, make it make sense. But it does make sense because obviously the inferior sex had to get angry with us and make them to be the leaders. But anyways, when we're talking about self-love and coming back to ourselves and healing, it's not about bubble baths and crystals. And even though those are, great, like going and getting a massage and doing a facial, like I feel like that's what people think self-love is just like caring about your aesthetics, taking care of, the way that you present yourself. Like those things are great, but are you actually doing the work? Are you facing your shadows? Like the hard, yucky, icky work, and healing and accepting also your choices and your decisions and loving yourself through those, not judging yourself, not feeling regret and disgust in older versions of you, because for a long time I did. Up until recently, there's probably still parts of me that are, but recently I was looking back at some old content and I was judging myself. I was completely judging myself. And I broke down one day and I was just so upset at myself for even judging my younger self, because now I understand, looking back, all I wanted was love. And even though my posts were questionable, my stories, the way that I spoke and I put myself out there, yes, it was cringe, but I just wanted to be accepted and I wanted to be chosen so badly. And that all just came from a hurt place. Once I was finally able to disconnect from men, but just external validation in general, because not only was I, not hooking up with other people. Keep in mind that during this time, I wasn't putting out strict rules for myself at the same time. I started to learn about loving my womb, healing myself, honoring myself, and understanding how sacred this space is and sex is and all these things. I was still very much open to sharing that with someone, 100%. And I did a couple times. It's been 3 years, but it hasn't fully been 3 years, if you catch my drift. Didn't restrict myself from experiences, because at the end of the day, I am fully open to whatever experiences are going to come at me, whatever that means, but not letting go of my boundaries and making sure that I'm feeling safe. I feel safe with the other person. Like there's just way more questions I'm asking myself before I'm going and having that experience. But I'm still having fun and allowing myself to dive into pleasure, and because I'm worthy of that. I'm worthy. We are worthy and deserving of enjoying ourselves. And when you start getting into these rules and you need to be this way, you don't want to get into guilt, shame, fear. Those are low energy frequencies. So when you think of religion and you think that, when you're religious and you want to be celibate for those reasons, that tends to teeter into low frequency energies because you're now feeling guilt. If you do cross that line, you start to feel guilt, shame. It's something that is wrong. No. Sex is not wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with having sex and sharing your body with another individual. Not wrong. You're not dirty, nothing wrong with it. It's more of respecting yourself, honoring your body, and just making better decisions on the kind of people that you want to have involved in that. And so I was doing that. If I felt safe with someone and I felt like they respected me, what's the harm in having some fun? As long as I know that I love my own company, I love my own space, I'm not going to be, hook up with someone and then forget about all my goals, forget about all my dreams, and just be about that person, then I'm fine. But that's what I used to do before. I only ever thought about another man and all these exterior things. I never gave the time to focus on me. So during the time of celibacy, I was really able to connect with myself and get attuned with my own energy. And from that, I could tell if something was off. I could tell if something wasn't me, if someone was draining, or if I felt like I was lit up and glowing. I could tell. And all this energy that I was keeping to myself and not depleting in other people, I was then able to transmute that into my own life, into my own goals. And I could get more clear on what I even wanted in my life. I could get more clear on, so when I went on my celibacy journey, I had all this time. I spent all my time thinking about a man. I had so much time in my hands. And now I'm so tapped in to my career and my goals. And I'm just so many doors open too. I'm working on mentorship. I'm working on my YouTube, my podcast, working with Marley, have my clothing line, closing out laser, social media, UGC. I have all these windows open and I'm just diving into all of them, loving all of them. I don't think that I would have had the time to even get in the place to know what I wanted if it wasn't for completely cutting it all off. I wasn't able to. And again, everyone's journey is different. And if you're able to date and be in that world, but also focus on you and grow and nurture yourself, amazing. Because now is when I'm in that place. Now I feel so solid with what I want, with my career, with building my career myself, that I'm not afraid to date someone and feel like I'm going to lose everything, or I don't care anymore because I'm with a man. Oh my God. I literally didn't care. I just wanted to be with someone. That's all I cared about. Scary. These are the 10 things that I have learned through my celibacy journey. Number 1, energy is real. When you start to get to know your energy, you can then really tell how much it affects you when you share yourself with someone else. Number 2, your womb holds memory. It holds memory of sexual trauma, but it also holds memory of any kind of medical trauma that stays with you and it stays in that space. So when I started going on this journey and I was talking to my womb, I cried for the amount of times that it's been picked and progged just in medical spaces, going and getting, pap tests, things like that women need to do. I spoke to myself before and I felt so grateful that I was able to do that. And I'm doing this because I love you. I'm doing this to keep you safe, to protect you. It's all about the intentions, because you could go into a medical space and open up your legs and be so afraid and feel like you don't want that person looking at you. You don't want them touching you. And you feel, I don't know, you feel like used and hurt. Like that energy going into it, you're holding that now. So releasing yourself and from those energies is important to just process like this. I did this because I love myself. I did this because I care about myself and I want to make sure that I'm safe and that I'm healthy. Because I think a lot of people have fear in going and taking care of ourselves, really. I love going to the doctors. I don't go to the doctors unless I really need to, but when I go, I do it with intention. I do it because I love myself, I love my body, and I'm worthy of living a long and healthy life. And sometimes that means taking care of yourself and doing things that might feel scary, but you know that you're doing it for your greatest good. Number 3, desire is not desperation. It is completely natural for you to want certain desires. And sometimes those desires are because a future you has those things, whether it's a happy, healthy, loving relationship, or if it means sex and it means certain fantasies that you have with a partner. Those are natural and normal. We have these sexual organs for a reason, and it is okay to explore those things. But when you're coming from, there's a very different place. There's two very differences when you are coming from a place of wholeness and fulfillment and connecting with someone that mirrors that versus coming from a place of loneliness, sadness, and desperation for someone that they need to give something to you because you're missing it. You're going to mirror someone that is also feeling those things. And when those two things meet, it's you're not going to give each other what each other actually truly desires. You're probably going to end up hurting each other because you are needing that other person to give you something that you feel you're lacking. And if they don't give you that, then you're mad at them, you're angry at them, you're putting these conditions on love, conditions on people, on what they need to provide for you, when you should be coming from a space of complete wholeness, and you're just a person coming into your life is adding to it. They're adding pleasure, they're adding joy. If they're not adding benefits to your life, are they really friends with benefits? Like, what benefits are you getting from it? I used to say, at least I'm getting D. I don't care if he treats me like this. I don't care that I'm crying. I don't care that he disrespects me. At least I'm getting D. And I thought that it was worth it. I thought the mental games, I thought the depression, the anxiety, all the things that I felt, which, mind you, I was feeling those things with and without that person. So there wasn't much of a difference, it felt like. I was still going to be sad and lonely anyways, but that's because I didn't go and start healing myself and realizing that I was the source of my own happiness. There's a difference between wanting love and needing love. I would cry when I would be intimate. I'd cry. Like, multiple times this happened to me. I would cry because I thought that being a part of hookup culture was normal and liberating. And it was just a thing that we all do. And you're young and you're in your 20s. I was horny. I was. Sorry. But that led me to attracting men that were mirroring the broken person that I was. And so I would, because I wanted love so bad, I would get myself in these situations. And then as soon as it starts actually happening, I'm like, no, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I signed up for. I can feel the connection between me and the person. And I can feel that they don't know who I am. They don't know my heart. They don't care about me. And I feel like I'm just this piece of meat that they're just using to masturbate. That's not what I wanted. I am Scorpio and I crave deep, passionate connection. I crave that. I need that. I require that in my friendships and in my relationships. But again, because I didn't know who I was, I didn't know what I wanted, I didn't know these things. And it does take experience, but it also takes learning about this. And I didn't have people to really learn all of this through. But the experience as well. Once I got clear and I started to heal myself, and then I started intentionally dating, having fun with dating, I started to attract better men in my life. And I could share experiences with them, but I started to learn what my limits were, because I knew that if I don't care about them, I'm just not that person. And some people maybe can, but I couldn't. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. That's it. Number 4, you can be magnetic without being sexualized. I feel like being myself is the most magnetic version of me. Not me stripping down on social media. Me being fully myself. Giggling, acting silly, wearing long sleeve, long pants, whatever. Just being myself and allowing that joy to come through. Being passionate about my career, about my dreams, my goals. Being who Rachel is the most magnetic thing I can ever be. Not laying on a beach, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's also magnetic and hot and sexy, and women are just beautiful creatures, but you're attracting the kind of people that you don't actually want. I was attracting men that only wanted me for my body, not for my soul. I got this body, okay? I don't need to tell everyone all the time that I'm gorgeous and stunning. That's just a given. But there's so many more parts of us that are so valuable. And unfortunately, as women, we don't value those things. We're not taught to value those things. We are multifaceted, beautiful human beings, inside and out. And our outsides are the least interesting thing about us. That's just the truth. And I have noticed it's so obvious how much more magnetic I am now compared to before. I mean, I've always been, but like I'm attracting a different kind of people. I've always been magnetic, but it's the kind of people that I'm magnetizing to me. The people that I magnetize now want to know more about me and my journey and my soul and my insights and my wisdom. Number 5, healing is not linear. So this journey is up and down, up and down, up and down. That's why I don't say that I was fully celibate for 3 years. Because I had my little ups and downs. I don't think that my downs were actually downs. There were just moments of learning and experiencing. I don't regret any of it at all. But during it, I enjoyed myself, and then I started to question, okay, is this what I want to continue doing? Is this how, it's like you're just learning, right? And I feel like that time in between allowed me to like experience it and then process, learn from it, and then integrate it. And that's just what it is. It's just a journey. Your whole life is just a continuous journey of learning. Well, if you're doing this, learning lessons, your healing journey. You're learning lessons, you're processing, you're taking the positive things out of it, and then you're integrating it into your life moving forward. You are becoming this next version of you because of what you had experienced. Everything serves a beautiful purpose. And now I just feel so confident in myself and my life that I know exactly what I am so clear. I've never been so clear. in my life of what I want and what I know that I'm deserving of. Oh my God. I'm going to make a whole episode on that because I have never thought that I was not going after it all. I always thought that I was. But the more that time has gone on, the more that I have experienced, the more that I have just opened my eyes to different kinds of men, damn, I really was lowballing myself, to be honest. I thought that I wanted it all. I thought that I wanted it all because I would say that I wanted a man with money and a man that was good looking. I thought that was, you're asking too much, girl. You want those two things? And then people want to say, yeah, but there's more to a man. Like, you have to care about this and that. Duh. But those are already a given. I wanted a man that connected with me, that cared about me, that loved me, that was kind, that was funny. The list goes on and on and on. But I want those things, and I also want money and good looks. For some reason, it's like you can only want the things that, like, a man that's good to you and a man that's kind, a man that's funny, and blah, blah, blah. And, like, those things don't need to matter. Everyone is different. Everyone is different. And I've always been completely open to if I connect with someone, and sometimes you can't explain it, but when someone connects with you, you start to like not even look at their appearance anymore, or their appearance just becomes even more appealing to you. Me personally, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. I want a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10. That's just me. And I'm willing to sit here patiently and wait. Okay, next. Number 6 is being alone isn't lonely when you love your own company. Bro, since moving into Burlington, I have not felt the feeling of loneliness. I've not felt it. Rachel, what do you mean? People would always ask me, be like, Rachel, don't you get lonely living all alone? I have lived alone for so long. When you love your own company, and like this just goes through time because it was years of me not feeling this. Now I feel it. So it just took time. It just took time. And now I'm like, I love being alone way too much. Now I'm like, okay, I need to like stop. I need to like be more social because I do love being social. And I get really comfortable with being within myself. But I'm stepping out of that. Summer is coming. I'm ready to bloom and things are happening this summer. I can just feel it. Number 7, celibacy is not punishment. It is preparation. When you're in this space, I feel like because I'm so dead set and clear on myself, my own energy, my goals, my dreams, that's all I think about is me, my life, what Rachel wants, and I'm just enjoying life. Because life is for me at the end of the day. Life is mine. And I'm doing what I want to do. And I'm not letting other people dictate what my life is going to be. And I'm not going to wait around and let life happen to me. That's insane. But because I'm so clear with what I want and I know what I'm deserving and worthy of, I am waiting for a deeper love, for higher alignment, and real intimacy. Because I'm deserving of that. I want the best of the best of the best of the best. 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10. And I'm willing to wait for it. Number 8, men will still desire you. And there are men that are going to respect what you want. There are men that will wait however long you want to. I don't put rules. So I'm not like celibacy till marriage. Never in my life am I going to do that. But I'm also not like okay, 5 dates in I will, or second date I'll kiss. Like I'm not a rules girl. Like I go in with how I feel, how my body feels, and just going with that. But yeah, men will respect your choices. But again, it comes down to the kind of men that you're choosing, the kind of people that you choose to surround yourself with, making that very, very abundantly clear, and saying no to men that are pushy. Like, no. If you're pushing me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, bye. Ew. Men will still desire you, yeah, but like, that's just like not your focus. That's just like inherently like what's happening already. But that's not what your focus is. You're not trying to be something in order for a man to desire you, in order for a man to still want to pursue you. That's not what it's about. It's about you, 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 you. This whole celibacy journey is about you. Number 9, my creativity skyrocketed. That energy is so potent when you keep it to yourself, and then you can use that because your sexual energy is your creative life force energy. It comes from the same source. When you think of your womb, you think that is an area where you are creating life, but you're also creating projects, creating your goals, your dreams. Everything comes from that area. When I kept that energy to myself, I could then use it to create the life of my dreams. And right now I'm creating the career of my dreams, slowly but surely. Okay, and then number 10 is self-trust deepens. When you trust yourself and you trust the universe and you are so clear on what it is that you do want, you start saying no to the things that are not in alignment and that you don't want. And when you say no to the things that you don't want, the universe is going to say, all right, let's keep giving her things and throwing them at her because she obviously doesn't want this. So we're not going to continue to give it to her. You're confusing the universe when you're hooking up with certain people and you're thinking, why isn't my dream man coming through? You're telling the universe that that's what you want. You keep saying yes to that. I am saying no to certain individuals that so great, so kind, good job, spend a lot of money on me, provider energy, open-minded, all the things that I thought that I wanted in a man. But I didn't like the way that he was not making a date, setting up a date. He's not like he was at the very beginning, but then like, I don't know, I didn't feel it wasn't what I wanted. I want a man that like goes on a date with me right away again. And the next week, the next week, the next week, the next week. Like love should come easy and natural and not out of force. And I want a man to set up and take initiative and do all that. And he wasn't showing me that, even though he was showing me that he liked me. And back in the day, I would have probably thought, oh my God, this man is really desiring me. He really wants me. And I would feel flattered by it. I'm just not interested. And if you show me that from the start, I don't care if you're like, okay, now I'm ready. Like, you already showed me from the start. If you really wanted me, you would have never dropped the ball. I'm not giving second chances. I'm not. I'm being so clear on what it is that I want, and I only want that. That's it. So, and in that, I trust myself. I trust myself that I am going to find a good partner, and I'm not going to get lost in the words of affirmations, words with no actions. I'm not going to not see red flags. I trust myself. I know that I am going to guide myself and lead myself to exactly what I know that I've always been dreaming of. I know the partnership I've been dreaming of. It's literally waiting for me. I already know. I'm so crazy, but like I know it, I feel it, I trust it on such a like cellular level. It's just right there. It's like right there. So like I don't have to worry. I don't have to freak out. And I think that's also a part of the celibacy journey that I've learned is trusting in yourself and your journey. You don't need to like be with a million partners and fast pace it in order to, find the one. Slow down, focus on you, heal from the inside, and everything is going to happen exactly when it needs to. Divine timing, baby. Celibacy has never been about control. It has only been about connection to myself, my body, and connection to other people. If you're on this path or you're thinking about it, you're not crazy, you're not alone, you're not missing out. But I also wouldn't want to ever go down this path. And this is kind of why I ended up going down hookup culture route, is because I always in my mind was like, my biggest fear is to be in a relationship and get married with someone that I've been dating for a decade and then start regretting, I have never hooked up with this kind of person, that kind of, I've never experienced different kinds of men. That was like my biggest fear. My biggest fear was wanting to cheat because I've been married for 15, 17, 20 years and I have not experienced anything. And I can't relate when other people talk about things. Like, that was my biggest fear. So personally, I'm happy that I experienced the things that I experienced. As long as you're safe and you're choosing right, girl, enjoy. Life is about enjoying. But you are number one. You are the number one priority. You need to put yourself on that pedestal. No one outside of you is going to give you the things that you think they're going to give you. It all comes from within. Amazing. It's been so nice talking to you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being on this journey. If you love this episode, please share it with someone. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, rate, all the things. If you have any episode recommendations, please message me on Instagram. If you resonate with anything from this episode, again, message me on Instagram. I am always open to connect and talk with you guys. I love it so much. So, okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon.